I am Baron Bjorn of the Northern Sea, Laurel of the Kingdom of Kaid, and I call into the presence of the blog none other than Mistress Maeve Ingen Echen, dread lady of all fabric, she who can destroy with a glance and uplift with a smile. And I bring her before us now.
Hey son, stay son, I'm Daisy Viktoria, and welcome to Gulf Wars. Gulf Wars is a week-long camping event hosted by the Society for Creative Anachronism. The SCA is a worldwide organization that encourages the study and reenactment of world history prior to the 17th century. Gulf Wars is a war with no enemies, which takes place on the Gulf Coast of Mississippi every year. At Gulf Wars, you can find some of the SCA's most beloved activities, such as fighting, arts, lots of cool costumes, encampments and period setups, pageantry and royal processions, as well as Bardic performances. And today I invite you to come with me on a trip to Gulf Wars, where we will explore the war together and see some of the cool stuff that's here. We're here working at Marshall's Point, where we are inspecting armor and weapons for the fighters to make sure they are safe to go on the field.
And it's pretty sharp.
All right.
I know it's right next to that, but
Yeah.
the whole point is we don't want to actually injure folks,
Correct.
like including ourselves. Oh, I like that.
Yeah, you probably did.
Okay, here we go. Right on that.
Here's the weapons. Yep. And then, yep, you want the top on?
Yes, I need the top on. We can take. Put it on with chin strap. Making sure you wanted to do this. Okay, so look at the rest of your brow. Okay, nose fine. There, it looks good. Okay, so put your hand, lean into me. Come on, put some weight behind it. There you go. That's good. That's good. That's good. No movement there. Elbows. That was 3 points. Yep, that's good. There. I'm going to assume you have your groin protection of choice.
Yep.
All right. Okay. Good.
My name is Duke Torquil-Kana from the Kingdom of Frontier, modernly John Crouch from Salem, Oregon.
Once the fighters are cleared and inspected for combat, they get to go and participate in the martial activity of their choice. Gulf Wars is full of battles, where the various kingdoms of the SCA have teamed up onto two sides, which fight each other in the war. Battles take place on the open field as well as in the ravine.
Reforming again because we keep falling off the edge of the world, because it turns out the world is flat.
The edge of the world is basically the edge of the fighting area.
Hi there, I'm Duchess Bridget from Kaid, and I'm in my armor. I'm doing archery today, and I shot my bows. I didn't kill anybody, but I don't care. We had fun. I gotta go pick up arrows.
The SCA also has Rapier fighting, which is its own fighting form with its own regulations.
I am Shaul ben Israel of Poznan. My friends call me Shoyal. My persona is from the early 1500s in Poland.
I'm Master Grelon Croak, and I do a late 1500s European. I have a swept hilt rapier. It's actually modeled off a museum piece that I saw in England.
One of the major differences between rapier in the SCA and rapier in mundane collegiate fencing is that we actually get to use offhand weapons, whether it be a dagger, a small shield called a buckler. We can use a hard parry, a stick, or even in period they would use cloaks as defense.
In addition to standard rapier combat, Gulf Wars features a women's only rapier tournament.
I'm Allie from the Outlands, from Colorado Springs. I'm a rapier fighter, sword and dagger.
You did so good in the fight. You look awesome.
I'm pretty beat at this moment, but it's fun because a lot of people, if they don't sword fight, they kind of don't know what to look for, but dancing in there with somebody is amazing because you kind of wait for them to mess up their steps to kill them. So it's really exciting to see it.
How long have you been fighting?
Almost 4 years.
You're doing amazing.
Thank you.
There are also heavy weapons tournaments at Gulf Wars, including the Rose Tourney. In the Rose Tourney, fighters represent someone who is in the Order of the Rose, which means they have been a royal consort in the past. Prior queens are countesses after they've ruled once, and duchesses after they've ruled twice or more. Similarly, a king who has ruled once will become a count, and once he has ruled 2 or more times, he will become a duke. The day of the Rose Tourney is a day to see and be seen as not only roses, but many members of the populace show off beautiful costumes.
I'm Thorkatla Fariov's daughter. I am Queen of the Kingdom of Meridies, which is a part of the Society for Creative Anachronism. We are the states of Alabama, Georgia, part of Tennessee, and Florida. And usually this is a very southern space and cold but hot, warm, really, really warm. But not this week, so I had the opportunity to wear warm wool clothing, and which befits my station as presently as Crown of Meridies.
Hi everybody, I'm Duchess Adelheid, Princess of Atlantia, and I am here expressing this wonderful German costuming that I have luckily been the recipient of. I have a lovely gown by Mistress Claire from Atlantia, Tracy Justice. She created the gown, the chemise. This necklace is from Etsy, and I am also privileged so much to be able to find this off Etsy as well, and I will get you the name later, I promise everybody. But I want everyone to know that German is not just Landsknecht. So let's everybody start looking at German in a way that every region is different and every region has its own particular style, and Landsknecht is just one of many. And this happens to be one of the very many types of German costuming that is available to you.
So my partner is Italian, particularly Corsican, and their heraldry is the craziest thing you can ever think of. And so I am insane, and I do not embroider, and I embroidered this for him because apparently I love him enough to be insane. We've only been together like a year when I made this.
Yeah.
So it's like I like it.
Yeah, exactly. I had been using like one of the basic like oilskin pouches, but I could never find things inside it. So she like made pockets that are just the right size for like my glasses or my phone or my wallet and all that kind of stuff. And it has been the most wonderful thing in the world to have.
whole SCA cosplay group, and I wanted to do Viking Kronk and Yzma, and so I made him a Viking Kronk tunic, and he has a little hole up here where he can put the sun in.
The whole thing with a little sun, and I had some oven mitts and a little squirrel.
Yes, and he actually got to speak at a surprise elevation wearing the oven mitts as Kronk.
Group of us that decided to make Lancaster My Little Pony outfits. So I already had the dress. I wasn't making a new dress. Put my foot down, but I looked it up, and according to what I can figure out, the color was right for Granny Smith. She's got a little gold, thing. So, but I did make new accessories for the outfit. My name is Danielle Delaroche, and I'm from Grenoble.
Yes, your seeds, if you will.
Yes.
I love it. So love it. What did you do your apron? Did you do your apron? Did you do that?
I did, yeah. I did this on an airplane, like a very long flight.
Okay, so
you got it done.
that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, so when we're flying to Australia, we will sew that.
Yep, exactly.
My name is Beatrice D'Andrade, and I am from the Kingdom of the Outlands. I've been a Laurel for a while, and I love doing 16th century clothing, and so this one, it was done on a dare.
And while we're on costumes, let's go ahead and take a look at my war wardrobe.
My dear, you look like a flower pot full of leather fern. I'm sorry, only one per customer.
At Golf Wars, we are reconnected with all of our beloved friends that we haven't seen in so long.
I'm Zara, currently live in Trimaris. My favorite thing about the war would have to be seeing friends from all over. It's like one big happy family for a reunion, so it's really good seeing everybody.
I'm Yitka, Queen of the West.
What is your favorite thing about being queen?
It's been all of the travel and all of the people that I've met. I had a fairly small social circle before, so I've got to meet a lot of really wonderful people.
Hey! Hello! My name is Duchess Bridget Lucia McKenzie from Caid, and I'm here on the site of Golf Wars. And look at that castle. There's rapier combat going on. There's armored combat there. There's arts all over there. I'm from Caid, which is Southern California. Plus Hawaii, plus Las Vegas. And I am in the garb of a Viking lady. And so I have on here my festoons. These are the beads. Most of these are handmade beads. This is a fairy and a bee, but they're real glass, not actual fairies and bees. And I am, of course, as any good Viking woman, I am armed, ready to defend myself or cut my dinner. I have here a snake made by my queen, little tiny ring snake, and I'm here attending the King and Queen of Caid, King Valric and Queen Drada, and I've drove a van across country with all of our stuff, and we're having a ball. I'm going to take a class, I'm going to visit with friends. Come to Golf Wars.
Good morning from your local strawberry. I'm going to show you my tent setup. Now, I used to actually camp with a more period-esque setup, but since it's just me, we're going simple. This is my tent setup, so we're going very simple. So it's basically a hiking tent. I've got some lights hanging up there, bedding, and lots of clothes and stuff. It's a little bit messy right now. If you're wondering how I got dressed in that tent, I didn't. My camp has a shower house, and I actually got dressed in the shower house every day. The Golf Wars site is full of so many beautiful encampments. Let's take a look at some of the cool period and period-inspired setups that some of the camps put on. My favorite camp area to visit is EPL, or Early Period Life.
I'm Bridget Eden. I am the EPL class coordinator. I've been doing this job for about 18 years now. We started with the Rusty Anvil Smithy behind you. That was the very first structure, and then we went from there. We built another classroom area and the kitchen behind me. It has a bread oven in there that we use for classes. And then the wood shop behind me was built over a span of 5 years as classes. So the entire structure is done in a period fashion, all mortise and tenon and dovetail construction. All of the boards in there were put together with wooden pegs that were made here on site as part of one of the classes. And our long hall down here has a big fire pit in it, and that structure's been here for about 20 years as well. Yeah, we just keep growing year after year. We've started work on a new blacksmith shop since the older structure here is starting to show its age, and we're working on making a newer one that's bigger because this is one of our most popular class areas. So all of our classes are geared towards that. As a village atmosphere, you need a blacksmith shop, you need a woodworking shop, you need a place to feed everyone dinner. And so all of those things tie together for a village, and that's what we're trying to recreate down here while everyone gets to learn new things. We primarily are pre-1066 era, mostly Norse, but we do not limit it to that. We shoot for pre-1066, but mostly it's about hands-on learning and getting people excited about something new.
I am Baron Asbrand of Norway. Everybody just calls me Az. Been a woodworker for a long time. This is actually just a small project for a camp shower. It's a chalkboard, and I just made a little thing for a groove for the chalk to sit in, and that is for us to write our names on there who's going next in the shower.
One of my many beloved activities in the SCA is target archery. I used to shoot combat archery as well in the battles. This year I am just doing target archery. I've practiced a little bit on my own recently, but honestly I am pretty out of practice, and it was so fun to shoot actually in a line of other SCA archers. I haven't done that in a few years, so this was really cool. And speaking of archery, in the equestrian area, there is also horseback archery. At Gulf Wars, you can also take classes to learn all kinds of new arts and skills. While I somehow managed to not make it to an official class this year, I did have my own private class with Mistress Barb Hurrah. I have known Barb since I was 3 years old, and spending time with her at this war was one of the very best and most important things for me. The week before war, I'd been thinking that I'd like to learn how to do Viking Age wire weaving, and it just so happened that Barb simultaneously had the same thought that she should bring her wire weaving supplies because she might want to teach someone. That's just how connected we are. So Barb has once again taught me something and enriched my life in yet another way, and I'm very excited to keep learning and practicing wire weaving. And speaking of Mistress Barb, aka Mom to many of us, she was recently elevated to the Order of the Pelican, and we had a little SCA family celebration for her. In the SCA, there are peerages, which most people will be familiar with as knights, Knights are for fighting. Barb is also a member of the Order of the Laurel, which is for arts and sciences, and her new elevation to the Order of the Pelican is for service.
Now greet each new gentle to join in our game and welcome them into our halls. Clothe them and feed them and teach them our arts, for one day they too will be family. Our young know the joy of play become real and keeping the magic of childhood. They learn at the knee of the masters of arts and grow in the joy of service. How strong is a dream that lives past today, 50 years and still blooming. Oh, chivalry, fantasy, honor, and growth are gifts to a new generation. Now the old and the young, the page and the peer may dance and sing together, weaving the magic of a place called the dream, where values bind us together. When threatened our halls from within or without, we'll rally and stand as one, and raise up our voices to far magistrates, that righteousness may yet be done. Are ye yet willing to fight for this dream, to ensure it dwells not in darkness? For the choice it is mine, and the choice can be yours, to carry the light of our elders.
Opening ceremonies is a time for pageantry and procession. At opening ceremonies, each of the kingdoms that is attending Gulf Wars will process in with royalty and all of the retainers and heralds and whatever type of super cool and awesome procession they've come up with for the event. This is so much fun to watch, especially if you love pageantry and fancy procession-y stuff.
Majesty, before whom hurricanes are not but a spring shower, who wrestles, nay slays mighty beasts like the alligator.
Roll your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream.
Meridian, a kingdom of southern and hospitality. Kingdom so southern, our heraldry has mullets. Everyone having a good time this year? Yes! Everyone glad to be back?
Yes! Majesty, Floki Garrickson, stellar King of Unstiora, and she who is the light of the world, Her Majesty Elizabeth, Queen of Unstiora. All hail their majesties! Vivat! Vivat! Unstiora! No, not one, nay, not two, three whole seas! His Royal Majesty, out! Her Royal Majesty Elena, accompanied by the royal heirs, Larkin and Grania.
Prince and Princess of the Mists, Cormac and Kaelin, Prince and Princess of Sinagua.
Sovereigns of the Midrealm, ruler who has the tooth, the claw, the muscle, and the bone of the dragon, and unleash the heart and the soul. Sir, and Basilisa Maneko, where the sun's rays shine, their feet may fall.
Sort of the Crescent Lands, Dread Valric, and the Dark Rose of Kaid, Drada.
Masters from the mountains to the ocean, to the sea, in the south, and the bay in the north.
The presence of Her Majesty Rifkin, the House of Antir allies with the stellar Kingdom of Unstiora!
And Magdalena, third of their name, beloved of the Heartland.
Come now before you, Sultan Bardic, Khan of the Outlands, and Sir Beatrice, Queen of the Outlands.
I present to you their
the field of battle. It must be war!
There's also an arts and sciences competition at Gulf Wars, and the entries are always just so inspiring and phenomenal. I did enter this contest my very first Gulf Wars a bazillion years ago. Just kidding, it was only like 15 years ago. I did not enter this year, but I totally nerded out looking at all of the entries and reading the documentation and having a total nerd out moment that was more like a couple of hours probably. Anyway, you know how it is. All the artisans did a fabulous job, and we are so lucky that they have shared their art with us. I didn't get a lot of footage at the parties, but I did partake of many of the parties. One of the super cool parties is the Known World Party. It's in the fort, which is the big structure on the battlefield. And this year the theme was mythology.
So hail to the swamplands, the forests and coasts. Hail to the three seas which we alone boast. Fill up your flagons and raise us a toast. This is Trimaris. Vivat Trimaris. Down on her fields, no warriors yield. And there in her halls, the revelers call. A bastion of chivalry, we remain free. There's yet a welcome for thee. From sea to sea to sea. So hail to the swamplands, the forests and coasts. Hail to the three seas which we alone boast. Fill up your flagons and raise us a toast. This is Trimaris. Vivat Trimaris. Our own kingdom now, we take solemn vow to stand for the dream and all that it means. In quest for new Avalons we carry on. There's yet a welcome for thee. From sea to sea to sea. So hail to the swamplands, the forests and coasts. Hail to the three seas which we alone boast. Fill up your flagons and raise us a toast. This is Trimaris. Vivat Trimaris. The land swamp lords tread, most fighters would dread. Eggpot, far and mire, we fight without tire. We're hell in a fight, but we're heaven at night. There's yet a welcome for thee. From sea to sea to sea. So hail to the swamplands, the forests and coasts. Hail to the three seas which we alone boast. Fill up your flagons and raise us a toast. This is Trimaris.
Vivat Trimaris. So hail to the squadrons of forests and coasts. Hail to 3 seas which we alone boast. Fill up your flagons and raise us a toast. This is Trimaris. Vivat Trimaris! Vivat! 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 Trimaris!
It's been so amazing. It's been like going home. It's been a while since I've been to this war. It was my first long SCA camping event, my first war, and it's also my favorite war. It's been amazing seeing so many friends, and I hope to see you friends again soon.